my name is Isobel and today we're going to be making mini cookie donuts. Today, for your mini cookie donuts, you will need sugar, flour, 4 tablespoons of butter, vanilla extract, baking powder, and eggs. I'm going to do the sugar first, and you're going to want to use a 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup, which is the same thing. So you're just going to want to take some sugar and then shake it off maybe till it's level and then pour it in. Then you're going to want to do 1 egg. Close it. Just going to want to crack it and then pour it in. Just going to want to put it back. I'm just going to be mixing it up until it's smooth. I think that's good. Now put your butter in the microwave for 1 minute. Instead of 1 minute, I'm going to put it in for 30 seconds, but keep your eye on it because butter can explode. So you want it to be this liquidy, and when you're ready, you're just going to want to pour it in the bowl. And then mix it up with your spatula, a small one it is. Then you're going to want to add your vanilla extract. I'm using 1½ teaspoons. Just going to want to pour it over your bowl, do it very lightly. That's good. Just pour it in. Since I don't have a 3/4 cup, I'm going to do 3 of the 1/4 cup of flour. And you're just going to want to take the back of your knife and just do it like that. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, that's a little too high. And just spread it everywhere. Okay, that's 3. Then you're just going to want to stir it until it looks very smooth. And I forgot to add the baking powder, so you're just going to want to use this metal part to scrape it off, and it looks perfect. Then just add it in to the mix. For the baking powder, you're just going to want to use 1/4 teaspoon. Mix the dough until it's smooth. Instead of the pastry bag, I want to just shape them with my hands. You get a little butter on your hands, but who cares? You can just wash it off. And I'm making donuts, eclairs, and little mini donut holes. Shape it with your hands. Remember to wash your hands. For your regular donut, you're just going to need about this much dough, and you're going to want to take like a small teaspoon. It doesn't really matter what size. And you're just going to want to shape a circle, sort of. Then you're going to want to take your teaspoon and just push it down in the middle. You're going to want to lift it up again and then just stick your finger through it. And then you're just going to want to shape your donut again till it looks nice, and just maybe stick your finger through. Then you're going to want to flip it upside down so it looks a bit cleaner. A bit. It doesn't look that clean. And I think that's good. For the eclair, you're going to want to use about this much dough. And you're just going to want to take your dough and just roll it until it looks like that. And it sort of looks like an eclair. You're just going to lay it down and then smush it in a bit more so it looks a bit smaller. There we go. There's an eclair. For the donut hole, you're going to want to take about this much dough. And you're just going to want to sort of make a circle. And there you go. You have a donut hole. I'm going to try to make a Cinnabon. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll out a really, really long piece. Longer than this. Just sort of pull it. Then I'm going to lay it down. And then I'm going to swirl it maybe. Maybe that will work. Yeah, that looks like a Cinnabon. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to try to do the Cinnabon again. And you're just going to want to swirl it. I don't have that much dough. perfect. That looks sort of like a Cinnabon, small Cinnabon. Perfect. Heat your oven to 350, and when it has preheated, put your cookies into the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. You're gonna want to hit timer 1 and go up to 10 minutes. They're ready, so I'm gonna take it out now. The cookies I don't like that really turned out were the Cinnabon buns. I thought they would be more swirlier, and I didn't really like the donut holes because they turned out to shrink. But I really like the donuts and the eclairs. We're first going to make the frosting, and what you will need, 3 bowls, 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon, pink dye from Wilton. You're going to need cocoa powder, 1/2 cup, and powdered sugar. First, we're going to make the white frosting, and you're going to need your 1/2 cup, and you're going to take your 1/2 cup and fill it like halfway, maybe like that much, and then pour it in. Then you're going to want to take your 1 teaspoon and take your cup of water and do it and fill it up 3 times and pour it in the bowl. 1, 2, 3. Now we're just going to get a spoon. I don't know where my spoon went. Right there. And then stir it up. And it should look like a yummy glaze for your donut. It looks too liquidy, so I'm going to take the 1 teaspoon and add a bit more powdered sugar. Just pour it in. Then stir it up a bit more. It's too liquidy still, so I'm going to add 1 more of these and just see if it's any better. Maybe like this much. Okay. Now it shouldn't be that liquidy. Yeah, it's not liquidy now. What I'm going to do for the white frosting is, instead of the white frosting, I'm going to do the chocolate frosting. And I'm going to do 1 tablespoon, but I'm only going to do half the cup, sort of. And then I'm just going to pour that in. I think that's enough. Now I'm going to mix it up, and it should look really yummy and brown. Almost like poop. I'm going to add a little bit of cocoa powder and a little bit of powdered sugar because I don't want this fudge dripping down the side of my donuts. So I'm going to add a little of this and then maybe a little bit of powdered sugar. Beautiful. Now I'm going to mix it up. And it shouldn't be droopy after this. It should be a nice consistency that sticks together. Yeah, this looks good. There we go. That's way better. I'm using a number 6 Wilton tip, and I'm just going to put it in my pastry bag. And wait to cut the hole until you have the frosting all in the bag. So just take your spoon and take your pastry bag and just like this. So I'm going to use these scissors, and I'm just going to snip the tip. I'm going to do this donut first, and I'm just going to do it with chocolate frosting. And you're just going to want to spread it around until it looks good. And then fill it in. And this looks really good. Perfect. And I'm just going to do this eclair now, like we did the same. I'm just going to want to spread it around like this, and then fill it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paintbrush, a really small one, and I'm just going to take some water and rub it onto the donut so the sprinkles stick. And it's okay if the sprinkles fall off because we're going to put new ones on. Okay, so now we're going to make the pink frosting. You're going to need to put in some powdered sugar, 1/2 cup. Do it halfway. Using the round one. And I'm just going to pour the powdered sugar in halfway, like I said. And then we're going to take this 1 teaspoon and we're going to fill it with water. You're going to want to do half of this because it might be too much. So that's probably a bit too much. That's good. So we're just going to mix it around with a spoon. It might be a little bit short on water. Yeah, it is because the water is just sticking. So we might want to do a little teensy bit more, like that much. Just pour it in. I think that should be good. No, it's not. So you might want to add the teensiest bit more water. Like that much. Just pour it in. That should be good for the frosting. Now I'm just going to add some of the pink frosting so it will look pink. You're going to want to add the teensiest bit. Like that much. So I'm just going to mix it up and it should start looking like a shrimp pink. Beautiful. I think we're done. So I'm just going to do a bit more because it looks like it's too short. Pour in a little bit more powdered sugar and a little bit more water. So that looks good. Now I'll mix it up. I think that will be enough to go onto the. So instead of putting in the icing like handed, I'm going to take this cup and I'm going to just unravel it sort of. And then when I put this in, then it will be sure so I can put the frosting in easier. So I'm just going to put the icing in and just put it down far and scooping. So we're just going to put it in. So we got the pink frosting in. Oh, now we're just going to, I'm just going to frost this donut first. And we're just going to want to do it just lightly. And perfect. We're screaming in the background. That's fine. And just do it really carefully. Make sure you don't mess up too much. But it will still look good if you mess up a bit. Alright, so I'm just going to start frosting this one. I got a little bit of a head start. Now I covered the donuts in water and I'm just going to do this donut hole. And I'm just going to do like we did with the chocolate and that looks pretty good. Alright, so since we're just going to drizzle the stuff on the cinnamon bun cookies, we're just going to do 1/4 of this. So we're going to do about like this much. That's how much we're going to need for the drizzle. Then you're going to do this, a small amount of water, so maybe like a 1/2 teaspoon. Or no, yeah, maybe 1/2 teaspoon. Just dip it in there. And that's pretty good for now. So I'm just going to be mixing this up. You only need the teensiest bit. And you don't even need a pastry bag. You're just going to want to take your spoon and just drizzle it over. So this frosting is so sensitive. It's just a little short, so I'm going to add a bit more of this powdered sugar. That's pretty good. And then you might want to add a little bit more water so it's not too thick. So I didn't add more water, I just kept mixing. And it's sort of the consistency of frosting now. To make it look more like a cinnamon bun, I'm going to take some of the Hershey's cocoa powder we used earlier. I'm just going to dip the paintbrush we used. And I'm just going to sort of like make it look like a cinnamon bun. So I'm just going to keep spreading it around. It should look really cute. Oh, that looks so cute. Alright, I'm just going to spread it around. Get some more. And that should be good. Now I'm going to do the other one. I'm just going to follow it on the line. My blowing didn't really help. That looks so cute. And then a bit more on the edges. Try to hold your cookie down, sort of. Okay, that looks good. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna wanna sort of drizzle your frosting. So sort of like hold your cookie and then maybe like take it, because mine sort of, well, yeah, that looks really cute. That looks good, I guess. That looks cool. Just lay it out, sort of. Beautiful. So here's the finished product. We have donuts, we have eclairs, and we have cinnamon buns and donut holes. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.